Hey guys, how's it going? We are back and we are doing our November Reptile update. It's been a bit since we really talked about everything that's going on, and let me tell you, there's been a lot going on. So let's get to it. We'll talk about everything that's been going on the last couple months since I took that little hiatus. And we'll start with the hatchlings, I guess, since these guys are new in town, and they're all the talk of the channel lately. But before we get to that, guys, make sure to check that lower right hand corner and hit that subscribe button for more awesome content. Make sure you hit that bell as well so you're notified when more updates are posted. Leave a like and comment as well, guys. But let's get to it. Let's talk about that baby hatchlings, the Ackies we have here. Real quick, we had an incident this morning, and that's why this video is being uploaded a little late. There's only 6 in there. We have one currently at the vet. Before we go any further, as far as I know, that Akkie's going to be fine, but we did have a prolapse incident, and it was pretty bad in my mind. I've never really had any prolapse experience, but I have seen pictures online of Ackies, of other species having a prolapse, and this one looked pretty far out there. I didn't think any home remedies would really take care of it, so I made sure to find a vet in the area that would be able to take care of the problem, that had some exotic experience, and I did. So I dropped him off, and they're gonna look at him. Hopefully him or her will be fine. Like I said, I didn't think any home remedies would really solve the issue. It just looked too far out there to really push back in, and I didn't really want to risk it since I'm a little inexperienced with taking care of that stuff. I am not sure what caused it. The humidity level should be fine in here. I just rewatered in case. The heat should be fine. I'm not really sure. I'll be keeping an eye on them more so, though, because I am very cautious about that stuff. I want to make sure these guys are good. But my guess is it was just a freak accident. I am going to talk to the vet more when I get a chance to talk to him, about what he thinks could have happened, because I want to make sure if there is something wrong, I change it. But yeah, I'm hoping this little guy pulls through, and I'm hoping he'll be fine. But my suspicion is that he will be, although it did look pretty bad. Otherwise, these guys have been active and healthy. Even the one with the prolapse really didn't know what was going on. They are starting their sheds, as you can see. The guy right there, I don't know if, let me try to get a finger in there, maybe. Oh, he just ran away. They're starting their first sheds. They're getting pretty big. I don't know if you guys can notice that on the camera, but since they hatched, they have grown quite a bit, and now they're starting to get their first sheds in. There are a couple I'm a little concerned about in terms of weight. Obviously, with there being 6, 7 of them, there's going to be some that probably aren't on the, the highest weight level, whatever, you know what I'm talking about. I'm not sure what I'm trying to say, guys, but basically, there's going to be some a little behind, and that's just in terms of, how the hierarchy is that they're establishing and everything. But I am keeping an eye on them because there is one that looks pretty skinny, although they are active and alert. I'm trying to find them, though, because the guys in the pile here all look pretty good. They might, that Ackie might be in the hide there, but it looks a little thin, and I'm hoping that that's fine. They're acting normal, but otherwise they're doing good. I don't think there should be any more problems, but it's always an adventure at this house or in this reptile room, so we'll see. But those are my main concerns with these guys so far. Otherwise, they're acting normal, being normal, nothing abnormal about them. Also, there's a lot of people who've been, who were on my list to purchase one of these guys that, sort of, had some things come up. So if you are interested, and I know there's people who commented on other videos while I took my hiatus that I haven't responded to that showed interest, leave a comment on this video. Oh, I think there he is. That's the one, or she is. The one poking the head out is the one I'm a little concerned about. But, real quick, just to finish up what I was saying, leave a comment if you're interested. Right now, and I posted this, check my social media, even on YouTube, I posted an announcement about it, but right now I am aiming at $250 per Ackie. I'm limiting to a purchase of 1 right now, just to make sure that everybody gets one. If, it kind of doesn't work out that way, then I'm open to multiple. But $250 per Ackie, free shipping as long as the shipping's under $50. If you show me proof of an already built adult enclosure. Pickup is also an option. There's details on pickup and everything, so check that out if you're interested. And of course it's winter, guys, so just be cautious about shipping and everything, and we'll figure that all out. But leave a comment, get in contact with me if you are interested. And if you are on the list or showed interest beforehand and I put you on the list, whatever, get in contact with me ASAP. I mean that, guys. So anyway, let's get to more content. Let's go talk about the adult Ackies. Alright, so we got Asus here. Asus is just chilling. Really no developments with Asus. I did try to breed him and Dell again, and that didn't go too well. Asus did show, obviously, interest in Dell, but Dell was not having it, and it led to Dell getting a little nip on the nose. Nothing bad. Dell nipped Asus last time when they bred, but they heal pretty quickly, so I wasn't too concerned, but I did separate them when that happened. It obviously wasn't going to happen in terms of them breeding, even though Dell is very gravid. Let me show Dell real quick. I mean, look at that chunk right there. She is definitely super gravid. She's just not interested. I don't know. I might try him again soon because she's still pretty gravid. I don't know. Maybe it just wasn't the right time when I put him in there. But I don't want to overwhelm her or anything. I don't want to exhaust her. So I might just wait later into the winter until she gets gravid again. I just, I'm doing this mostly for her health. So I want to make sure she's comfortable and it's not any problem for her. But that didn't go too well. And now they're separated again. I know in the last video I ended on putting them together. So that didn't work out too well. But individually, they're doing great, other than Dell being gravid and having a little nip on her nose. It's fully healed now. You probably can't even tell. Let me just go back there real quick. Let me open this up. Ooh. See, I'm going to try to put this in here without dropping it. But you can see, it's casting a little shadow. Can't really even see anything on her nose. It should be all healed up by now. But she's good otherwise. Asus is totally fine. He's doing his own little thing. Let me close this. Oh, man, these things are getting harder and harder to open and close. But yeah, they're doing great. No really concerns with them. The mushroom problem that was in Asus's enclosure looks pretty good. I haven't really seen any as of late. And I did, when I last saw them, saw a lot of the bioactive bugs I had in here all over them. So it did look like they were finally breaking them down. So the adult Ackies are doing great, despite their babies giving me a couple problems as of late. So that's good. I'm still meaning to do some changes to their enclosures and add some rocks and new wood in there. Just haven't had the money really for that, guys. So we'll get around to that when I can get around to it. But let's move on. Let's talk about Max, my bearded dragon. So for Max, problem child that she is, when I put Lizzie down, I took Max with me to the vet. We discussed previously that she was having some changes and how she was going to the bathroom and such. And I was just overall just wanting to check in with her because she's the one reptile I have who's always kind of had these miscellaneous health problems. So I took her and they put her on some medicine for those bathroom issues. It really came down to she has eggs again. And I'm probably going to be doing an update to that, what's it called, the laybox guide I had previously, where I'm going to build one that she actually stays in and see if that does any changes for her in terms of laying them. She had started digging at the walls recently, so I'm going to do that pretty soon. Probably in the next video after this video will be that video. But yeah, so they think that her having those eggs and such are changing sort of her bathroom habits. They did give me some medicine to help with that, though, to make sure it comes out fine. They said that the little bit of pink that I might have observed in her feces or whatever, or her urate, could have been from just the strain of her trying to push it out and such, and that might make her not want to go to the bathroom as much because it hurts. So I think a mixture of that and the eggs was just kind of the overall problem, but still kind of unsure. Really didn't get too much answers that way. She's hydrated, all their other stuff that we ran everything pretty much in terms of like some blood tests and everything. Looked all normal. High calcium levels, but I think that's pretty normal in gravid beardy or gravid reptile. Yeah, she's just miscellaneous Max. That's you, having all those health problems. So we're checking on her. I'm actually really thinking of changing up a lot of stuff with this section of the reptile room. as you can see, Max shares, or sort of neighbors to Tortellini down here and in this DIY enclosure here. And I really been thinking about this, guys. As you guys know, I wanted to put dirt all on the bottom here, or you know what I mean, substrate, natural substrate, for Max to do some digging and stuff. And also, I've been thinking that this enclosure as it is, I think it's too big, honestly. I know I've always gone big in terms of enclosures and been adamant about giving a lot of space, but the one thing I've really noticed about Max moving from her baby enclosure to this big adult enclosure is that her habits really have changed for the worse. She doesn't go to bask as much. She doesn't see her greens as much. I think if it was more condensed, she would see this stuff more and be more inclined to actually use it, to actually go under the basking bulb and not be super lazy. And maybe I contributed somehow to that lazy activity by sort of bringing the food to her and everything. Maybe that was my bad as well. But I also think a not as big enclosure will help, show her, the greens are there, they're available. The basking spot is right next to sort of or closer to your hiding spot. Stuff like that, where she's more inclined to do certain stuff. So, and also, guys, pretty much on the daily, I let her run around the reptile room. So she does get exercise. She comes out quite a lot, so I don't think there's the need for this big of enclosure when I let her have the run of the room pretty much every day. So I've been thinking about getting rid of this whole entire thing, because another one of my concerns was if I was to put dirt substrate here, it would weigh too much and cause some problems for Tortellini down below. We'll talk about him next. But I'm thinking about getting rid of this whole thing, getting another enclosure from Animal Plastics, getting another one of those U-line rack systems, putting it here, putting Max on the bottom level in that Animal Plastics enclosure, and doing some sort on top, on the top rack, like how that baby enclosure is there on the U-line thing, doing some sort of, a tortoise table without legs. So I would just have no top, something on the bottom, and then the sides. So I'm thinking about doing that, and then hanging over some lamps on top of it, wherever that would be. I think that would work better. I don't know if I'm going to build a tortoise table. I don't really know much about tortoise tables. I just know that tortoise enclosures are much different than a lot of reptile enclosures, so I'm going to have to look into that. If you guys have any recommendations, if you have a Russian tortoise or a small tortoise, let me know what you do enclosure-wise. But I'm thinking about just getting rid of this whole thing and starting from scratch. I think it might just be for the best, for their health. I'm also considering spaying Max, just with these problems always stemming from her getting gravid. It might take less of a toll on her just to spay her, get rid of these problems. Just like how I breed Asus, or not Asus, how I breed Dell now, to help with those sort of egg problems or potential egg problems of her holding onto the eggs, causing health issues. Max can have those too, and I don't have a male beardy for her. So I've been debating getting a male beardy and having them breed. I wouldn't exactly incubate her eggs because beardies there's a lot of them as it is. But just doing it for health like I do for Dell. But honestly, guys, I don't think I can handle breeding another species, learning about that right now. So I think I might just spay her, guys. As long as this doctor really, or this vet, really convinces me that it'll be safe, because reptiles do have some trouble going under, then I might just do that. It's going to be pretty expensive. It was like $600, he told me. But if it's for her health and it makes her life better, I'll do it. But we'll see. I'm going to need some convincing for that. But there's a lot going on with Max, like I said. But she's just had so many minor health problems. I'm just ready to be done with it. So if spaying her really does help, I'll do it. But, yep, that's what's going on with Max. So let's talk about Tortellini real quick. Tortellini's always rock solid, so he usually gets a quick segment. Hi, Tortellini. So Tortellini, like I said, is always rock solid. He never gives me any problems, which is just awesome. He's doing great in here as well. I do think he could use sort of a nicer environment. And what I mean by that, and actually I don't necessarily even think this is too bad of an idea, but being that he's kind of on the lower end here, There's a lot of spider webs that get formed in here, which is actually pretty good because it keeps out a lot of the, nuisance bugs. And it's just really just like house spider type things. Nothing that really hurts Tortellini. But it just sort of gets pretty dusty and stuff down here. And I think it would be better for him if he had some more openness. So I think a tortoise table would work really well for him. But he's doing good health-wise. Nothing, really anything concerned about. Major appetite, like normal. He's just doing really great. So Tortellini's doing fine. I don't really have anything that I can think of things that are really causing any issues. I left on the light last night because we had, like much of the United States, really big cold spell coming through, and I think it's still coming through until the next couple days pass. And it got down to the single digits here where I'm at, which is not normal. So I left Max's and Tortellini's heat lights on last night because they're kind of in a section of the room that gets a little bit colder than the rest. And Tortellini, I came out this morning and he was under the bulb, so I'm sure he appreciated that. But otherwise, doing great. Tortellini is my rock. He's the one reptile who doesn't give me any problems, right, Tort? All right, let's go talk about Destin. Destin, if there was another rock, is my other rock in terms of health. I think it's a he. That's more of a guess, but I'm guessing a he. Has always done great in terms of health and everything. He is still due for his enclosure upgrade, which we haven't gotten to. I suspect that in the next couple weeks, once I'm done my semester classes, I will be getting right to that. So I would imagine before Christmas, he should definitely have his upgrade. In terms of health, he's eating great. He just had a bunch of crickets this past weekend, so he's doing really good. Nothing really abnormal or to say about him, just doing his weird Crested Gecko type thing. So he's doing great. Him and Tortellini are just phenomenal in terms of how their health is, not giving me any problems. I do have to weigh him again soon. I do like to weigh my reptiles somewhat occasionally to make sure their weight is good, and I want to make sure he's not getting overweight, but he is overall doing really great. Now, to wrap up, let's talk about my Tegu Frappuccino. He has been doing pretty good. There's been a couple minor incidents that he's had recently. Number one, he still needs to get that tail shed off. Last time this was a problem, it worked itself out. Eventually, it took a little bit longer than I would have liked. Hi, Frap, you gonna say hi? He's in food mode. He knows it's the day to get fed, so he's looking for some. I can't make any fast motions around him on food day, or he thinks I'm food. And he will try to come out, so I have to block him because he is a tough son of a gun nowadays. He really tries to get out of his enclosure when I don't want him to. But other than the tail shed needing to come off, I'm going to give him the run of the reptile room for this Sunday's live stream. And last time that really helped a lot with his tail, so I'm hoping that he'll try to get some of it off then. But other than that, I think, and this is my best guess, he's missing a little part of his tail, the edge of his tail. And I noticed this a couple weeks ago. You really could barely notice just looking at him. But I did notice because it didn't look like his previous tail. I think he either stepped on it and it came off, got stuck in maybe something like, I don't know, over here, some tight area, and it just popped off. I'm not even actually 100% sure something did happen. It just didn't look the same as what I was used to. Could just be that he's been growing a lot, but it does look like there's a little bit missing. But it's been fine. There's like no blood or anything. It was really just a tiny tip of the tail, if anything. And my honest guess is that he usually wraps his tail around here underneath him, and I think he might have just stepped on it and tried to move it, and it just popped off. I haven't seen it or anything, so I really have no confirmation, but it does look not normal. It doesn't look like his original. But otherwise, he's been doing great. Eating, his diet is fine. There's been a couple of flies getting in here, though. You can see that there. Whenever he lays a nice, a nice poop, there's a lot of flies that get in here, and I have to get them out. They're not really bothersome or anything. They're not going to do anything, but it just makes kind of it all messy in here. And I do want to rotate the substrate. It is very damp in here, especially in the wintertime. It gets really high in humidity if I don't put the heat on in the living room. during the night, and there's a lot of condensation that forms, and that's fine. Tegus live in very high humid environments, but I do want to rotate some of the substrate to loosen it up. It's kind of hard, and I just really think it would benefit from being turned over a little bit. I also do plan to get more bugs in here and stuff to break down stuff, and I do want to put plants in here. That is still a plan of mine, but otherwise he's been doing good. He's still been forming that sort of underbite thing that, as far as I know, is totally fine and totally normal for big tegus. But I am keeping an eye on that. If you have any information on that, let me know, because I don't really know too much about it. I have asked quite a few people, though. But he's doing good. He's been quite feisty lately in terms of just attitude. He hasn't been, like, doing anything mean or whatever. He just is very aggressive with his motions, and that's sort of been a common theme with him getting bigger. One thing he's not great with is coming in and out of the enclosure. He's very floppy. He's very aggressive with it. He doesn't like to stand still, and that can cause a lot of issues with me just moving him around. So I've been thinking about getting some sort of a laundry basket or something for him, to make him more comfortable when I carry him and move him around, because he ends up just beating up my neck or something. See, he like does, ooh, you gotta stay back there. He doesn't have much patience. So, I was thinking about getting something that just might make it more stable for him when I move him around, and where he doesn't beat me up whenever the door opens or something like that. So, have any recommendations for that? Let me know. But anyway, guys, that's pretty much it. Frapp is going to give me some trouble now because he's going to want to come out, and I do not want him to come out, and he really throws a fit when that's a problem. I also think I'm getting a phone call from the vet, so let me go check that, but we'll wrap it up here in a second. All right, guys, I did just speak with the vet, and it did turn out for the worst. A lot more than just hemipenes or something came out. They're going to do necropsy on it. I think that's what it's called, on the little guy, and I'm going to give him a little burial today. But I know this just took a very big turn here. I'm not too happy. The vet did say that they did think that this is something genetic or having to do with just how the Ackie came to be, or, however you want to put it. And it's not really husbandry related. Hopefully more can be, told to me later when he tells me what he found when he looks at the Ackie a little bit further. I definitely want to make sure it's not husbandry oriented or anything. But there's been a lot of heartache here, guys, recently. It's just really sad. I don't want to lose a little guy. I don't want to lose anybody, but it's just part of life. That's a reason there's a clutch. That's exactly what the vet said to me. There's always the possibility for one just not being structured correctly, or whatever you want to put it. I just want to limit my impact as much as possible. So maybe I'll talk about this a little bit more where I get more news from the vet on what actually went wrong. But it does seem that it's not husbandry focused or oriented, so hopefully the other guys will be fine, and nothing further will come of it. I am a little bit more worried about the one that's not eating too much, or it's not putting on weight as much, just because, I don't know, I don't want to lose any more. It was Lizzie, now this little guy. It's a lot, guys. I want these guys to be happy and healthy, but at least I'm learning. Hopefully I'll keep learning and improving. But sorry, little guy. I'm really just, I don't know. I'm really upset about it. It's kicking in a little bit now, but anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I really appreciate you guys taking this journey with me, and being there for the whole thing, and it means a lot to me. So I will see you guys in the next video on Saturday, then the Sunday live stream, and we can talk about all this stuff on Sunday more so, probably. But yeah, guys, I'll see you this weekend.